the role of once upon a time electronics machines technology are part of our system, either in education or business or governance, whatever it may be. So it plays small role. So most of the things are done by humans, but nowadays the humans and the machines are equally treated. That means some of the problems are solved by using machines. The role of the contribution of machines are 50% and the humans are 50%. That means the machines growth is equal to sometimes better than humans for some problems. So we cannot separate machines and humans in future. So what is Internet of Things? So it is nothing but connection of objects in the world with the use of internet. That means you can connect any device in the world with the use of internet. Once the connection is made, the devices can able to communicate. For example, we are using so many electronic devices in our home: TV, refrigerator, AC, laptop, music system, fire alarm, micro oven, washing machine. So many electronic devices are used in home. So think that if all the devices are internet enabled, so our washing machine, AC, refrigerator, all the devices are internet enabled. So we can communicate with the devices from remote. So we can control that devices from remote place, and we can sequence the operations. We can perform multiple operations with the use of internet. So what I'm coming to say is simple definition: internet IoT is nothing but communication of devices in the world. So you can connect any device in this network with the use of internet. So what is the need for IoT? Why we are using IoT? Because we are living in dynamic world. Dynamic world means one of the research says that every human being in the world, in the present world, technological world, we are, even though we are having lifespan of 60 to 70 years average, but a teenager, a kid, technology is viable. They are, for example, we can take a kid who is 7 years old. If he is using mobile phone for gaming, so gaming is the another world for him. Even though he is 7 years old, he is living in two worlds. One world is real world, another world is game world. So a 7 years boy or girl are living, if he or she is using mobile phones 2 years. So virtual world and real world, both world, they are living 4 years. That means we are living in different worlds with the use of technology. So even we are living in real world in particular time span, but the same span is we utilized the technology also. So recent research says that every technology enabled human in this world who is living in different worlds, whose lifespan is 3 times higher than the normal life when we compare with the earlier lifespan of a human. So you can just imagine how the technology is penetrated to our daily life. So for daily life, we need technological assistance. So we have to control the devices and environment. For that, we need Internet of Things. Next one is resource utilization. So as a human, we can perform only one action at a time. So if we are controlled with the use of, even though we are having 2 or 3 remotes, TV remote, AC remote, audio remote, but we can perform only one operation at a time manually. But with the use of internet, IoT, you can manage by using time slot fixation like alarm, particular time wake up, like that. You can fix the slot and schedule the process. So by that way, we can improve the resource utilization ratio. Next one is integration of human society and physical systems. So presently we are having so many technology support, electronics support, digital world. We are in digital world, but there is a vast distance between the devices and the humans. So with the use of IoT, we can reduce the distance. So we can integrate the human and the physical systems. Here physical systems represents all the devices in the world. Next one is flexible configuration. You know that we are using different model electronic devices. So with the use of IoT, you can control. You need not worry about the configuration, durability, and fixed operations. You can perform that operation with the use of IoT in somewhere else, and you can get the result, and you can give the input to the device. If the device is not updated, so you can do that. Next one is universal transport and internet networking. So you all know about the definition for internet. So internet is nothing but networks of network. So if you are connecting different networks, so in your college you are having one network, department wise systems are connected. So when one college is connected with another college, so that is called networking. So when we are connecting all the networks in the world, that is called internet. So with the internet and IoT, so we can establish the universal internet networking and transportation. Transportation means data transportation, and acts like a technological integrator. So this is I'm stressing this point. Acts as technologies integrated. So we are using different technologies. For example, cloud, cloud storage, cloud technology, and gene genetics based technologies are there for gene data bank. So we are having databases, centralized databases, distributed databases. So we can also having different types of mediums. So television medium, like that. So we can integrate the technologies with the use of internet. That means what I am coming to say is, you can able to establish the communication between the radio device with the visualize any visualized device. So that is not possible without using IoT. So with the use of IoT, you can get the data from radio or any other audio device. You can transform the data into text form or audio form, any other form, and you can give it to input to the another device. So by that way, you can integrate different types of technologies. So these are all the reasons we need IoT. So one of the fascinating areas, so hot area, research area in IoT is medicine. So many applications are there. So some of the applications, if you are familiar with the Android mobile, so many walking applications, respiratory system based applications. So all the applications you are using in Android that requires internet connection and a GPS connection, uh, and it uses so many sensors to get the input from you. So that is a classical example for IoT, Internet of Things. So if you are using a walking app, what will it do? It just calculates the steps based on your movement. That movement information is collected and it is compared or stored, mapped with the geographical location with the use of geographical location device which is available in your mobile GPS, and it calculates, it combines the data and it gives the result with the use of internet, because that application is connected with the server, one of the server. That server is hosted by that application developer. So it gets the data with the use of sensors, and it collects the data and it go for analysis, and it will give the results to you. How many steps you walked today, how many calories you burned, and how much of energy you released. So how many miles you traveled. So you can, so this is the classical example for IoT application. Okay. So like that, in medicine, in healthcare, so many advancements are going. So many researchers are doing, uh, give better solutions for healthcare problems with the use of IoT. So this is the simple uh, setup for IoT, for just checking a, a diabetic patient who requires how much of insulin in that particular time. So for that, what will we need? First one is a glucose monitor. So the glucose monitor monitors how many glucose presently that patient is having. So how the sugar level must be checked before giving the insulin to that patient. So for that, we are using continuous glucose monitor, and that device is connected with CareLink USB. Next one is Raspberry Pi. So it is a tool kit. It is nothing but a processing board. You think that a motherboard in a computer or a processor enabled board in your mobile phones. So it is just a getting input and processing, and it gives output. So battery, you know that for power consumption, power utilization, we are using battery. So this is insulin pump. So the process is, it just checks the sugar level of a patient. Based on that sugar level, the insulin pump, the Raspberry Pi will process. So we must enter the insulin level before this process. We should give the prior input. Suppose a patient is, you know, the normal sugar level according to Asia, 160 maximum permissible level. So if the sugar level of that patient is beyond 160, for example 200, so the insulin level may be 2 ml, like that. So if the sugar is high, 400, the insulin pump level should be fixed as 10 ml, like that. So this is a automatic process, which is the use of IoT. So what can we do? What IoT can do for healthcare? So before IoT, so doctors, you know, the doctor visits and the communications. So usually what will happen? A doctor comes to ward and he inspects the patients and he go through the case history of the patient and he recommends the medicines or modify the medicine, and that medicine will be continued until the doctor comes again. So this is a normal method we are following. So when we are implementing IoT in that hospital or the patient who is uh, residing with the use of sensors. So we are having so many sensors like a temperature sensor, respiratory sensor, humidity sensor, so many sensors are there. With the use of sensors, if the patient goes to critical condition, then it will be automatically alarmed to the doctor through his mobile device or a caretaker or attender of that patient. So this could be possible with the use of IoT. So which enables the patient will be monitored in 24 into 7, and they can get the recommendations from the doctor, because the doctor can also able to know the present situation of the patient. So based on that present situation, the doctor, he or she should no need to come in person until the emergency occurs. So from this, they can easily uh, treat the patients with the use of this technology. And another thing I already mentioned, potential care and monitoring of patients. So that will be possible. And you can see due to pandemic situations, we are crossing the pandemic situation of COVID-19. We are all experiencing. So especially in our country, few months back, so all the hospitals are engaged, lack of oxygen beds like that. So scarcity of manpower also, doctors as well as nurses. So when we implement the technology, so we can monitor the patients. When anything occurs, it will be informed automatically to the doctors. So by that we can utilize the manpower efficiently and we can give the better support to the patients. Next one is some of the patients are hospitalized as well as bedridden. So most of the chronic illness patients who are in elder age, say they could not able to come to hospital frequently, even though they are highly diseased. So they need some doctor support. So when the technology is viable, so with the use of technology, we can get the advice from the doctor through video calling or by getting information through the IoT enabled sensors. So by that way, we can find the doctor can give the advice, and they can able to analyze the patient's condition from remote places. So that could be possible. And cost, so that is most important. One whatever it may be, a patient goes to hospital, he has to spend some money for transportation, consultation, like that. So nowadays you can see the advertisements uh, in televisions. Some of the applications, some of the developed by the leading hospitals in India, they are providing mobile care. They are giving mobile advice. That means mobile advice means without physical presence, they are guiding you how to take your pills and how to take the medicines, like that. So these are all the initial steps taken by the stakeholders of this healthcare system. So these are all the building blocks of IoT. So we need so many devices end user devices. That means that device gets the input from the patient or user. So that is the end device, we call it as. Mostly the devices are called as sensors or actuators. So actuators are sensors. So sensors are nothing but about environment dependent devices. It monitors the blood level, sugar level of a patient. So many sensors are available. Nearly 110, above 110 sensors are available in the market. So actuators are nothing but transforming that sensor information or collecting that information from the sensors, and it holds that value for some time. And gateways are nothing but connection establishment. Like our mobile devices, we are using SIM cards to establish the mobile connection, internet connection. Like that, we can use so many modem electronic devices or establish the internet connection. Next one is all the devices in our home, personalized device, which establishes the communication with the network. So network is common for all, everyone is connected with the network. And the data are stored in cloud environment. So cloud is nothing but the virtual storage of data. So I am having physical storage in my mobile phone or laptop up to 500 MB or 1 TB. Suppose uh, we need to store the data. The data is generated, requires more space to store. For that, we can buy the storage or hire the storage in the virtual environment. That storage is called cloud storage. So inside of that, virtualized servers are there, data storage units are there. Who are the service providers of data? So we know devices are end devices, gateways, BSNL. We are in our home, we are using modem, or in our mobile phone, we are using SIM card to communicate with the network. So network is nothing but it just establishes a communication between, as I said earlier, network of network. So we are going to communicate with another network. So I have to communicate first to my network first. If I am using BSNL SIM, I have to communicate with my BSNL network first with the use of my SIM card, and that network is connected with another network where I am going to communicate. So overall process, usually IoT requires more storage. What is the reason behind that? Because the sensory devices are collecting data 24 into 7. So the collected data can be stored continuously. Then only the analysis can be done. Like our CCTV footage, it stores 24 into 7 footage in a memory. Like the same thing happens, but in CCTV we are using physical storage hard disk in our home or business places. But in IoT, the data is stored in a cloud environment. So the cloud service providers are Amazon, Google. They are giving free storage, as well as they are giving storage for with minimum amount at minimum cost. So the devices can be any devices can be like tool, car, home, or particular mobile, fan, light, whatever it may be. So as I said earlier, anything can be communicable when the internet technology is enabled, incorporated with the device. You can establish any communication. Suppose I am going to establish internet connection in my tube light. So from that, in IoT, what can I do? I can get the information about the temperature, how much heat it emits, how long it glows, how much of energy it requires. These are all the data I can obtain from that tube light. Like that same way, from a car, from a home, any electronic devices in the world. So those devices are called as smart things. What is the meaning for the word smart? When it is internet enabled, then we call it as smart things. Next one is in our previous diagram we have seen gateways. Next one is middleware. So middleware is nothing but an intermediate software which establishes communication between the application and the network. What is going to be application? Suppose I am monitoring my motor, pump set motor in my farmland with the use of my mobile device. So how can I monitor? I just enable the internet connection with the motor with the use of IoT setup. We have seen first diagram. There was a Raspberry Pi kit like that. So we can establish that kit setup in my motor room. By that way, I can see how much of water flow when the motor was on, when the motor was off, how much of water delivered like that. So that is called application. My mobile device contains application. The establishment of devices with the mobile device, the intermediate software used is called middleware. So this is the general architecture for healthcare, how healthcare occurs. So I think this picture is not clear. So this is the clear picture. Role of IoT in healthcare industry. So how the healthcare system with the use of IoT can be possible. So a patient is connected with a lab, doctor, and healthcare indexes, medical, all the things. So all the things are incorporated with the use of IoT. So this is the flow, how IoT works. So a patient is having wearable device, like you can take any simple device, a pressure monitor enabled watch. So you know in the market from 500 onwards, rupees onwards, you can buy that watch, and that has some Wi-Fi connection facility. So with the use of your mobile phones, you can establish the internet connection between that watch and your mobile. It just stores the information of your heartbeat and your blood pressure. When your device is established with your family, nursing home, or clinic, suppose without knowing your own perception, without having any consciousness, you have no physical symptoms or inner symptoms, but your blood pressure is too high, so you need assistance. So what will happen? The IoT system sends the alarming information to your hospital, and you know that healthcare here you are seeing health rate monitor sensor, blood pressure sensor, wearable devices, and real-time alert and health reports. So the data will be sent to one server that is called IoT cloud. Okay. And the data is stored in a storage that is called data storage. And in that, based on your previous data and the present data, all the data are stored every day. It just compares with your previous heart rate, blood pressure, all the things. And when the blood pressure is too high, what will happen? It sends the alarming information to the same IoT cloud. Yep. By that way, the doctor is also connected in that network. He receives the information about you through the notification from the network. So he can give you the suggestions, or he will inform your nursing home that that patient is in critical condition. He is not bothering about that. He is not conscious. So you will send a medical assistance like that. Or he can able to call you and give the message that your pressure is too high. You come to hospital and take the medicine or consultation. So this is a very simple example for IoT in healthcare. How healthcare is healthcare can be performed well, given by the hospital well, with the use of IoT. There are 4 stages of IoT in healthcare. First one is devices. So we are using so many devices with the use of sensors. From that way, networks like that. From that way, these are all the input for process. So IoT need input. So for that, we are using so many devices. So that is the first stage. Second stage is it continuously accumulates the data producing by you with the use of sensors and other devices. So it does some pre-processing. Pre-processing means it categorizes your data. For example, heartbeat rate data, your calorie, your weight, your energy consumption, energy release. All the data are categorized into separate and it is stored in a data storage. That is the third stage. And the fourth one is data analysis. So data analysis is nothing but it just compares with your weight, your energy consumption, energy release, all the things. So it analyzes and gives the reports, results. You are fit, you are unfit, you are in danger zone, you are having monthly checkup, like that. So based on the data, it will go for analysis. So devices, first stage, second stage is data aggregation and pre-processing, third stage is data storage, fourth one is data analysis. So these are the 4 stages of IoT in healthcare. So we are going to uh, discuss about the important stakeholders of IoT in healthcare. So who are the important stakeholders? Who are the persons who are involving in healthcare? So the important persons are patients, doctors, and physicians and hospitals. So these three are most important. So first we are going to discuss about patients. So patients are the input source of this system. So they are the source. So from collecting the data through monitoring a patient using different sensors, by that way, the person comes under personal attention. That means in a ward, a nurse is appointed to monitor 12 patients or 20 patients. What will happen if anything, any calls from the patients, then only the nurse give the assistance. And that nurse will frequently checks, periodic checks, morning, evening, afternoon, injection or giving medicines, tablets like that, or doing any clinical trials like that. So that is possible. But in IoT, the patient can get the personalized attention with the use of monitor, without human intervention, without human assistance, without human monitoring 24 hours. But he will be monitored with the use of devices. So that device will give the all the information about the patients frequently, and when some of the limitations or alarms are fixed, when the patient goes to some critical condition beyond that levels mentioned, given by the doctors or physicians, then it will be immediately automatically informed to that concerned persons. Either he may be the doctor or any other person who is responsible for this patient monitoring system. Next one is in Singapore. The fourth point is fourth and third and fourth point. So in Singapore, one of the project they are doing is drones. So many, one of the survey you are know that Chinese people are having very longest lifespan. They are living, elder age are above 100 are living in China and Singapore. So most of the, especially elder who are living alone. So you know the dormitory in Singapore and some of the developed cities, they are having minimum 10 to 20 floors. So suppose a elder person who is living in 40th floor. So how can we monitor them without getting any information from that elder? How can we find whether that elder is in good condition or not? So in Singapore recently they done research in NUS, National University Singapore. They are sending drones to that location, which consists of camera which is connected to that hospital. That camera zooms the patient condition, whether he is alive, whether he is movable, like that. If it is okay, then nothing will be wrong. If anything, no movements are there, they will send a person to check whether the elder is in good condition or not. So this is the present scenario. They are using the application. And a patient who is having a disease, chronic illness or generic diseases like hereditary diseases. So he needs medical attention. They are living, they have to live their life day to day with their day to day activities like office work, uh, family, like that. So, but they need always medical attention. They have to be monitored. So for that, IoT will be the better solution for them. With the use of sensors, they will be monitored. Next, IoT for physicians. So IoT enables healthcare professionals. It establishes the connection between the patient and the doctor. So the healthcare professional no need to go. You can take any experts, leading doctors. So they won't work in one hospital. So they are giving, they are experts. Their expert guidance is needed for multiple hospitals. But they are in hurry mood. So if they are, in Apollo and some of the familiar hospitals, they are getting medicines through email by sending reports to the doctor who is in Mumbai or Delhi, like that, Calcutta. So the doctor could not able to visit the person in person every time. So he will come either in the earlier stage of that patient or when critical situation comes. In between, the medical assistance services will be provided through the email or any other online applications. So that is presently available. What is the role of IoT? If the patient is virtually connected to the doctor, if any one of the patient in India, for example, a heart expert who is assisting a patient who is critically rare case, who is in Chennai, the doctor will be might be in Cochin. When they are virtually connected, when the person requires advice during critical condition, so there is no need to get the prior input or in-person visit to that location. When the internet is enabled, so the doctor receives the notification about the condition of the patient as earlier as possible within a second. So he will give the guidance immediately. So that medical assistance will save the patient. Think that when the patient records are sent to After getting the results sent to the doctor, he will take some time and he will give the his suggestion. What will happen in between time? The grace time, the patient should be survive without any medical assistance. Next one is the physicians are humans. None of them will have the memory of all the patients, and even though he or she is a family doctor, he is seeing so many patients, so he could not able to link his earlier occurrences of that patient, because we are not maintaining any health records from our childhood. So we crossed so many situations, so many occurrences. So from my childhood, I could be faced fever, I diseased with some other diseases so many times, but I forgot. Even the patient might forget. When the data is stored, the physicians, the doctors can easily identify when this happened, the same thing happened to this patient. So from that, we can connect the information with his medical history, and the doctor will give the better treatment to the patient. So these are all the fruitful solutions for a patient. Next one is hospitals. So you are all know about the medical equipments, wheelchairs, nebulizers, oxygen pumps. So even though the hospital who is having multiple branches in a particular region, but when one location is tightly engaged by the people in a particular disease, so they will face shortage of their equipments. When IoT is enabled, before the patient reaches the hospital, the facilities, the equipments will be arranged, because all are closely connected. So if a patient requires nebulizer, already 10 nebulizers are available, the 10 patients are admitted. So one of the patient is going to be admitted after 30 minutes. So it just checks with the database how many nebulizers available, how many nebulizers are in use. So when the shortage of nebulizer, it automatically sends the information that a need of nebulizer. So you can imagine the situation, and deployment of medical staff. So you all know that different locations, one location, multiple hospitals, private and government hospitals will be available. In another location, only limited number of hospitals are available. When situation goes bad, the shortage of manpower will goes to fatal. So this can be avoided with the use of IoT and hygiene monitoring devices. That means with the use of IoT, we can monitor the patient before he will be infected, before he is getting infected. So by that way, we can prevent that patient. In India, most of the patients, most of the humans are anemic due to lack of take of supplementary or good food or hygiene. So from the technology is enabled, we can find how much of food taken by that patient. So you may think that how much the cost will be. You know the internet cost. So in India for 199 to 250 rupees, you can obtain the internet for 28 to 30 days. So that internet can be utilized by one or two patients or persons. So the internet technology is viable in developed and developing countries. Some of the undeveloped countries are facing lack of internet usage and devices. So a lot of devices are established. So when technologically sound, this could be possible. Without a minimum resource, with the minimum resources, we can able to do this. So next one is some of the examples tools available in healthcare. So I'm going to give the examples which are presently available in the market. You can buy continuous glucose monitoring system. So CGM. It is a device which consists of transmitter, sensor wire, and it sends a real-time monitoring information to the network. So you can connect this network, this device with your any network. You can connect this device with your mobile device as well as nearby hospital, like that. It is the use of internet. It gives glucose readings for 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes it gives inputs. How much of sugar level. So some patients are having fluctuation of glucose levels. So in that case, this device can be very useful for them. So this is the device. Next, activity trackers during cancer treatment. So that this is a device which is using, uh, which is usually in well-established hospitals, especially European countries. So if a cancer patient wear this activity tracker, so based on his uh, previous treatment history, the levels are fixed by the hospital. When anything goes wrong, that information will be automatically sent to that hospital. Okay. And the patient can also find his data by connecting his or her mobile phone with this tracker. So usually you know that the trackers are like wristwatches like that, or rope which can be hold in our neck like that. That activator activity tracker should be touchable, wearable like that. So it should be touchable in our body. It will takes the all the input, our body temperature, our respiration level, heartbeat, like that, all the things. So as I said earlier, it looks like a wristwatch. So it is connected with your hospital as well as your mobile phone. From that way, you can monitor yourself. Suppose I took less food today, I have consumed less calories. So I can manage myself that tomorrow I will take more. So these things will be helpful for me as a patient. Next, smart inhalers. You know about a smart inhaler. So in an inhaler, it contains some medicine, and it makes easier for breathe. So inhaler is IoT enabled, and I'm using inhaler. It gives the input that how much of medicine I inhaled total per day, how much of times I'm inhaled, how much of medicine I inhaled, and what is my respiration rate. Okay, it works with Bluetooth also. And the patients who are having high blood pressure or who are having asthma like diseases, this inhaler will give basic information, this much of amount. That means a sensor is fixed along with that inhaler, so that shows how much of body temperature that patient have, how much of medicine he inhaled, and what is the respiration rate of that person, like that. So this is the diagram. Next is connected contact lenses. They are having, most of the patients, they are having problems in their eyesight. And am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the lenses are connected with the sensors, and it is incorporated with the mobile phone, smartphone, and it gives how much of times you, what is the pressure level of your eye nerves, and it gives how much of utilization of your eye, like that. So what is the main thing? It shows the, it monitors the blood flow of your eye region, and it measures the glucose levels. So this is the sensor enabled eye lens. You know, glucose tears, it is one of the major symptoms for diabetic patients. So that is one of the symptom that they are they are straining, making strain of their eyes. So this can be find with the use of this device. So another one is depression fighting Apple Watch app. You know, people are dying due to depression also. Lot of suicides. So that can be avoidable with the use of application, Apple application, which is incorporated in a watch. So it just checks the heartbeat levels of your, of the patient, of the person, and it checks the environmental temperature. If it is sunny, if the person is sweating more, no worry about that. If there is a winter season, thus if the person's sweating is more, then the application will find that the patient is in different mood, like that. So another important familiar application you can find in your Apple mobile phones, breathing. So it just gives the information to how to medicate themselves, the patient who are, the person who are in depression. So this is the application which is incorporated in a watch, smartwatch. You know about apnea, or most of them, few are from biological background, life science background. So absence of breath. So it can be possible during deep breath or in depression. So when the breathing process is not done by the person few minutes, then this watch will alarm them that take a breath. Otherwise, they will forget and go for unconscious stage. Even the death may happen. The advantages of IoT in healthcare are: first one is cost reduction. Next one is improved treatment. So you know about cost reduction, transportation, and getting medical advice, guidance, like that. It can be done in a remote place, and improved treatment also. Our government of Tamil Nadu also launched so many, I think some of the applications, IoT based applications also. It requires some input for improved treatment. The doctors will give you the medical assistance through phone, telephone also, like that, and a faster disease diagnosis. So your medical report will be exchanged within a few of seconds through from the laboratories to your doctor. It cannot be possible when it is physically happens. It requires more time. We have to fix the appointment, and then we have to get the report from the lab in person. So this can be reduced. By that way, we can get the faster disease diagnosis, proactive treatment. That means anything can be possible in earlier time without getting worse, without going to be bad. Even before the medical assistance will be given, and drugs and equipment management. So you know that even though today we are taking pills for thyroid, diabetic, or any heart disease like that, what will happen for monthly checkup or 6 months once checkup? Doctor will get the average results, below sugar levels, and our ECG report, like that, thyroid levels. Based on that, he or she recommends the drug for some time, 1 month or 2 month course. You know that course, it takes some particular time for taking medicine. But the doctor will not able to monitor day by day your health condition, but it it is required for most of the conditions. The level may be changed, the dosage of medicines will be changed, especially for taking patients who are taking insulin, like that. So faster proactive drugs and equipment management will be performed well. So when the doctor recommends you take 10 ml insulin before food, what will happen? Even though the sugar level is less, for that the patient has to check the sugar level, glucose level first, and then they have to select the insulin level. But doctor recommends usually 10 ml, even though the patient might not have the awareness that the sugar level is less. He or she have to get the insulin, less insulin. But due to doctor recommendation, what will they do? They will take 10 ml as usual level. So it will give some side effects to the patients. When the IoT is enabled, the sugar level, based on the sugar level, the insulin level can be automatically fixed. So that can be possible. Drugs and equipment management. Next one is error reduction. You know, so many, most of the nowadays, you see the people who are expertising in this medical field, healthcare, they suggest us to go for third opinion. That means we have to get the, before going for treatment for a particular disease or whatever it may be, we have to go for third opinion. So that could not be possible, that could not be done by the most of the patients. Why? They have to get another appointment, they have to do all the things, start from the beginning, and then they have to get the conclusion. So people who are having more money, then only they have to go for third opinion. But when IoT is enabled, that your medical reports can be sent to the doctor, and he can see, and we can get the third opinion in advance without spending more time and cost. So challenges, what are the limitations in IoT in healthcare? First one is device management. So as I said earlier, we are using so many equipments and sensors. So we have to check the functionality of the sensor, and we have to maintenance that its performance. So that is one of the major challenge. Next one is technical malfunction. So you know that the internet speed may vary. It can be disturbed. It is totally depends on the uh, environmental conditions, natural calamities like that, and the data security. So it is when we are getting data from a person, it is totally sensible. It is a sensitive data. The privacy should be maintained. The data should be kept in secret place or safest place. That is one of the challenge, data security. Next one is active monitoring. So even the devices are connected. When the patient is goes to critical condition, that information sent to the doctor as well as the hospital. In that case, a human intervention is required for active monitoring. For preliminary process and intermediate process, that can be done with the use of machines, equipments, and devices. But when it goes to higher level, a human intervention, human support is required. So for that active monitoring, in that case, the challenge is still, still it is in challenge. Next one is database management. As I said earlier, when you are monitoring a person 24 hours, what will happen? Enormous amount of data will be received, released. You can get a lot of information. Either it may be in MB or GB. So assume that your hospital is having 100 patients remotely connected. What will happen? Every day, a single patient generates 1 GB of data. So for every day, that hospital requires 100 GB of memory storage to store a data about that person for 1 day. So assume that database in management is another challenge in IoT. So these are all the things in healthcare we have discussed. Next, some of the interesting devices in IoT you can buy in the market, so that will be useful for you also. So this is the happy fork. Uh, this fork is an electronic fork. It finds your eating habit. That means you imagine that with the use of this fork, you are taking food. So if you are taking food fastly, it gives information that you are eating so fast. So if you are eating slowly by watching TV, it informs that, indicates that you are taking food very slowly. You can connect this happy fork with your mobile, which contains application happy fork, and it also gives how much of food you have taken, like that. So what kind of food you have taken. So this is one of the IoT enabled fork. This one is my vessel cup. So it consists of it contains, when you, it holds the charge for 5 to 7 days, wire free charging also. So if you are pouring any hot water, hot drinks, it shows the temperature of that liquid, how much temperature it holds, how much ml it holds, it like that. So this is another interesting uh, IoT enabled application. Next one is the smart toothbrush. It is how efficiently you brushed today. So that is hygiene. So today you are in hurry mood, you brushed not well, so it gives 40% out of 100. So you have not cleaned your teeth well, like that. So it is electronic device, smart toothbrush. So egg, smart egg tray. So it reveals the good egg, bad egg, and how long this egg will be going to be good. So you must use this egg 3 to 4 days. You must use this egg up to 7 days, like that. So it can be connected with your smartphone. So it synchronizes the condition of your egg. Next one is smart propane tank. So it can be connected with your car tank or water tank, any storage tank. The level of the storage tank is maintained virtually in your mobile phone. By that way, you can find the capacity and how much of fuel is available, how much of water is available in your tank. As I said earlier, glucose monitoring system. So this is some smart enabled glucose monitoring system. That means today your sugar level is 20% high. So you need 30 minutes walk. You need 20 minutes meditation. You need 10 minutes yoga, like that. So the app will give you the suggestions, and it also sends your glucose reports to your doctor, like that. Next one is smart operation washing machine. So washing machine with the smart ecosystem contains so many applications. You can monitor or control your washing machine with the use of this app. This is smart piggy bank. So you can find your savings, and it also gives the information. Suppose you are fixing target that from January 1, 2022 up to December 31, 2022, I need 1 lakh. Suppose I am putting some money, it indicates that this much of money is available. If you are depositing the same amount of money up to December 31, 2022, your total money will be this, like that. So hydroponic system. So it is gardening based, small gardening based system. So you have to implant the sensors with your plants, and you can connect with the sensors with a IoT board. So by that way, not or how much of water uh, it requires, like that. And it also remembers you that your plant is in dry condition, you have to pour water, like that. Like it is another application related to the gardening, that is a smart sprinkler control. So sprinkler control means it automatically controls the based on the temperature of your soil and the plant. With the use of sensor, it monitors and it fixes the water flow in your sprinkler, and it can be monitored with your smartphone or any electronic devices. So next one is fiction arcade machine. So it's nothing but a game based tool. So it just prints whatever it may be, the kids, it's like a printing machine. So that's all today. Thank you for your patience. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It was really very informative and very, very lively session, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Participants, if you have any queries, you can ask the resource person.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, myself Krishna Rao from Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. How it will work? Alexa, sir. Alexa. what is the process behind that?
Pardon, sir?
Alexa.
What? Alexa.
Alexa.
Yeah.
What is the process? How it will work, sir? Can you explain?
You are talking about. You are asking about Alexa.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Alexa is a artificial intelligence enabled robot. It is IoT incorporated also. So you can connect any device with that robot. It takes all the information and it has the capability to analyze that information, combine that, create a relativity among the information. For example, if you are having Alexa in your home, you are telling to your son or your sister or father, I'm going for a lunch by 1 o'clock. So that information will be automatically captured by the Alexa. When 1 o'clock comes, before 1 o'clock, 12:55, it gives information to you, reminder that it tells your name that you said that you are going for lunch by 1 o'clock, like that. It incorporates all the informations, what are all the systems you are connected, and when you enable its mic, it receives the information through audio. When you are establishing communication with that washing machine, it gets the information from that washing machine, and it requires input from you to monitor or control that device, that washing machine. So that is a robotic device which has some own decision making applications. Clear, sir?
Thank you, sir. Clear, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Participants, any other queries?
Okay, madam. Shall we close the session, ma'am? Any other questions?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
participants, any other questions?
What is that?
No, sir. Just a minute, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your very lively session. And it was a really applaudable since you have prepared everything on a very short notice. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Participants, the attendance link for the morning session will be posted in the chat box. Kindly fill in the attendance link and join for the afternoon session sharply by 1:50 p.m. We'll start the session sharp by 2 p.m. So kindly join the link by 1:50 p.m. Kindly fill the attendance link now for the morning session. Thank you.